How do you know who you can trust? In this crazy times that we're living in with the coronavirus, with quarantine, it's very difficult to know who we can trust. There's all sorts of conflicting reports going around in the media, and in this age where information is so readily accessible from a variety of different sources, it's very easy to get misinformation, to get disinformation, and all we want is simple information. We want the facts. We want the truth. But how is it possible for us to find who we can trust? I mean, it's very easy to be let down by human beings. I'm sure that you, as well as I have been let down by people who've promised something or said something that is true, and then it's not. And if we're honest, I'm sure that we have also betrayed people's trust. People have invested their trust in us, and we've let them down. Wouldn't it be great if there was some kind of a source of trust, someone who we could really trust with everything, with our whole lives, with everything that's important for us? Well, there is. According to the Bible, that source is God. And God is described as someone who is impartial, unbiased, not corrupt, someone who is perfect, a being that is totally perfect. And that blows our minds. We can't understand that because you and I are so broken and so imperfect. But this perfect God says to us that we should trust Him, that we should rely on Him, that we shouldn't go our own way, we shouldn't rely on our understanding, we shouldn't trust necessarily even the things that we see with our eyes, but that we should trust what He says. But the problem was, as you know, that's how we are, we didn't want to listen to God. And we decided, no, we'll trust other sources, we'll believe something different. And we believed the fake news, we believed the hoaxes, we believed the lies that we could be like God, that we could be in His place, that we could be the rulers of our own destiny. And as a result, we ruined everything. The whole world broke because of us, because of our first parents. And that's why we have things like viruses now. That's why we have natural disasters. That's why there's so much brokenness in our lives. That's why we see people panic buying and taking things away from other people. That's why we see selfishness. It's all because we didn't trust in God, in the one who we could trust in, who's perfectly trustworthy. But thankfully, that's not the end of the story. You see, about 2,000 years ago, God gave His best. He sent Yeshua the Messiah, His Son, to die on our behalf for all of the rubbish, all of the bad things that you and I have done, all the times where we've been untrustworthy, where we haven't listened to Him. And when He rose from the dead, He restored this relationship with us. And He didn't do it because we deserved it. He didn't do it because we were trustworthy. He did it just because He loved us. And as a result, we can enter back into this relationship of trust where we have someone who we can truly rely on, who we can truly believe in, and who will never ever let us down, who will always remain 100% trustworthy. So who do you trust? In these crazy times when we're getting so much information going around, who do you trust? Can you believe what you see with your eyes? Even pictures, even images can be photoshopped nowadays. It's very, very difficult to know if what we're seeing and what we're hearing and what we're experiencing truly is the truth. But thankfully there is a credible source, and that is God. And God will never let you down. He is someone that you can always rely on. Why? Because He is perfect. Because He is all-powerful. He is able to do anything. He is able to protect you in the midst of this chaos. And ultimately, one day He promises that if you trust in Him, you will be with Him forever. In a world where there is no coronavirus, where there is no any kind of virus, any type of natural disaster, any type of selfishness and egotism, in a place that is perfect. Sound hard to imagine? Sound too good to be true? You have to find out for yourself. Maybe you've got questions. Maybe as you're listening to this, you're thinking, well, how do you know that God exists? How do you know that the Bible's true? It was written down by men who you're telling me are broken. Those are all great questions. So why don't you get in touch with us? We would love to talk more about all of these reasons. I would love to personally tell you why at the age of 16, I decided to trust this God with my whole life. And since then, I've not looked back, and I've never regretted it one day, because I know that every time I've put my trust in Him, He's come through. Why? Because I deserve it? Because I'm good? No, because He loves me, and only because He loves me. So let me end by asking you the question, who do you trust? Who can you trust? Do you want to stick to trusting yourself, your own ideas, trusting other people who are just as broken as you are? Or do you want to put your trust in someone who will never let you down? Ultimately, the decision is yours.